Hello, sports card world. It's ZiggyNo, and we're talking sports cards. It's June 13th. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, the little bell, leave some comments, like, even dislike. I don't care, but love the feedback, love the interaction. It helps that algorithm thing, right? And I want to also appreciate everybody who has been supporting the channel. Been seeing some great growth recently, and I like the feedback. Even the negative feedback. I do listen, and I'm trying to make some changes. So hang in there with me. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the content. Got some great stuff to share with you today. Hope you're going to sit back and enjoy it. We're going to talk about the logo man. We're going to talk about a breaker who goes crazy on whatnot. We're going to talk about just so much cool stuff. Hang in tight. Let's just jump ahead. Okay, we'll start with Jeff on Sports Card Investor. Came out last night and said, hey, it's dicey out there. Don't make this mistake. And he talks about the sports card market and people basically, look, I'm going to summarize it this way. He talks about people not willing to sell at a loss. And sometimes you have to sell at a loss. I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about here is I want to make you to think about back to March 11th, 2020, when the NBA shut down. Because I remember watching the game, right? I think like Rudy Gobert just teased about COVID and was touching the microphone a day or two before. They came on and they canceled. I think it was either Mavericks game or Zion's game. One big rookie was getting ready to play, and I was excited about it. And they canceled. And for a few days, the world freaked out. Like most people in sports cards were selling. We were trying to get some cash. We thought things were going to go south, and it didn't. And the only reason I mentioned that is, guys, appreciate the 2020 year where things were just crazy. 2021, things were a little bit different, but we learned. We had NFTs and a lot of other fun stuff. Guys, it's 2022. And maybe it's time to pay the piper. I've been telling you this for a while, and I'm not here again to bring that to you, but just listen to what's going on out there, pay attention, be educated, and try to have fun collecting what you love. Now, again, Jeff's message is interesting. To me, it's just more signal of what to look for in the market. You're going to see more and more people getting liquid and selling more cards, which means they're not going to have the high values people said they would once before. Let's go ahead and jump into the next slide. I thought this was interesting. Boys over at Luca Tigers and Bronze. It's very bold of them to put their toe in the water here. We'll see if they get it cut off down the road. Of course, sponsoring PwC, which you know how I feel about that. They make a question, is now the time to buy Trae Young? Well, right now, I think it's bold of you to buy anything. But sure, go for Trae Young. I wouldn't touch Trae Young at all. Look, Trae Young's never going to win a championship in Atlanta. No, he's not. He's going to be traded somewhere to happen. That's not going to happen for a while. He's probably more likely to be a Westbrook-like player or Derrick Rose. He's not going to be a Zion. He doesn't have I can't explain it to you, but no, especially this down market. Very bold of you, Lucas Tigers and Bronze. Very bold of you. Okay. And they're even going to say, well, we didn't tell you to buy it. We just posed the question. Yeah, but why'd you pose the question? Okay. Really good video here from Mike on Baseball Card Collectors channel. He's part of Bench Card Media. Highlights here. Talks about PSA. He's a PSA registry collector. And it's funny. What I'd like to ask Mike is, Mike, what would it take to get you off of the PSA registry? What company, grading company, have to come in and say, hey, look, we want you to switch over our registry system? Would they have to reslab all your cards? If they did that for free, would you do it and become a sponsor for them? Would you cross over if somebody offered a combined registry? I'm just curious. Also give some great insights about kind of what's going on YouTube, about selling his collection, about the hobby. Just really like what Mike talks about here. But again, really enjoyed just his, again, like I said, set registry, talks about PSA, the $30 sub model. Great video here. Again, I have to be honest. I just like good content, and Sports Cards once again puts out a great video about content creators. It really got me thinking. It sometimes I do realize I'm a little negative, and I have put myself in the position he talks about where you're kind of hating on one person. I definitely have my Lex Luthor in the hobby, and I think that's bad. I'd like to make peace with the Lex Luthor in the hobby if he's listening. But I'll just say this: you got me thinking, and I hope that my future content shows that I'm listening to what you're saying here. I recommend other people listen to this and give their feedback. Love this video here. This is from Extreme Breakout Cards, or Extreme Card Breaks. He has the video clip of the guy who freaks out. Look, basically, he's selling a break on whatnot, and he's going to lose money. He's selling a football break, and he does this random model where it's not important how he does it, right? It just, the point is he's not going to make enough money to cover the box, and he freaks out, and he cancels the order and tells whatnot he's done with this. And all I'm going to say is, look, the problem with breaking, guys, you should not be a breaker unless you are allocated product at wholesale pricing. And then if you're breaking it, you should not be breaking it at market price. You should be breaking it at under market price. That's what you should look for in a breaker. If you're going to work with a breaker, you want a breaker who's allocated, who's selling it to you for under the market price, right? You don't want a guy who's going, well, prison boxes are $1,500. My breaks are break down to $1,700 because I had $200 for shipping, but I'm not making any money on it. No, dude, you're not, because you're an idiot. You should be paying $15 for the box. You should be getting it at an allocated price around $400 a box. You should be breaking it around $1,000 a box. You're making tons of money. Your clients are happy, and there's a win-win for everybody. That's not what's happening. I'll leave it at that. And another thing I'll say too, the whatnot thing, you actually want a relationship with your breaker. You don't want it to be as sterile as the whatnot app makes it, where you don't really know the person. Like you want a relationship with your breaker. That's just the way I feel. There's certain things you kind of want. That's my opinion. Look, I love this video here. This is from Infinite Investment. Definitely haven't already. Check out his channel. Again, small channel, but great message. Love his channel. Love his voice is sometimes reminds me of my own. It's a little negative sometimes, but I like it. He calls out the logo man. What I really like about this is like the 4th or 5th video I've seen about this. The next one from a larger channel. Finally, Dustin, man, you're listening, man. Dustin has here. He calls it out. Like, now, the one thing I'll say, Dustin is always so politically correct. He really is, Dustin. If you're listening, I mean this in the nicest way, but like the way you did this video, you could still get a sponsorship from Golden because you didn't like blast them for this. Like you asked, wonder why they got it authenticated instead of graded. Let me explain what happened here. Golden has been behind this whole thing from the beginning. Okay, they're the ones that got together with Drake. They're the ones who've been hyping the whole box. No one ever called this card a chase card. You said this card's been in the brewing for years. I don't think it has. Maybe someone talked about it, but I don't think it has been. I think, every year there's a chase card, and there's been some monster chase cards. Like there's been some Babe Ruth bats and some real relics and autographs and some cool stuff. Okay, this is not a chase card. This became a chase card because Drake wanted it. Drake put a $500,000 bounty. There's been bounties on other logo man of rookies normally have a bounty on them. This has been hyped from the moment by Golden. So the reason that PSA graded is because it's Golden. They like if it was a real collector, he would have BGS this thing because it's a fat thing. He probably would have BGS'd it to get it in the encapsulated, and it probably would have done a 9.5. It was BGS, but it probably came in an 8 or 7. So they cracked it, or said, hey, don't put that on there and make it authentic. That's why they did it. Why? To make more money. That's all they're doing here. It's sad. It's already at $1.5 million, which I'm shocked by that. I really don't think this thing's worth over $1 million. I don't think it's. I wouldn't pay anything for it. Like I don't have any interest in it at all. I'd give the money to charity than waste it on this thing. But that's just me. Anyway, we will see where this goes. God help us. But I am glad that there's a voice of reason out there. It's not just my own. Okay, quickly some updates. 2 good weekly updates I do recommend you subscribe to. Really, really like Dan the Card Man. I will say he talks about the PSA thing. I think what's interesting that you can tell he's even confused by the messaging. PSA originally said they were $299 and above in their value, and then they upped it to $499. He made a comment about he saw both. Again, they didn't clearly explain that, and that's caused some confusion in the market, but that they changed it. Great updates. He talked about fake Michael Jordan autos, which that and the triple logo man, which he talks about, made me think to myself, if you could build your ultimate card, what would be your real grail chase card? Think about that. Like my grail chase card would be a card that was autographed by Michael Jordan, hand autographed by Michael Jordan, custom autograph, like 6-0 in the finals, right? Or something. I don't know. Like Michael Jordan's my man. If you customize it with a couple other players, that'd be kind of cool. Like I don't want to say LeBron because I don't really like LeBron, but again, if I'm upper deck, if I could put LeBron and Michael Jordan handwritten autos on there, so you knew they both touched it, and you'd be like, who touched it first? Like LeBron probably touched it first because Michael touched it second. I don't know. I just think that'd be kind of cool. Okay, last update, and this is from Neo. I have been following the Neo channel. He does a very good job, very thorough on some stuff. He talks about some of the things going on, talks about the PSA and the eBay vault, and kind of gives you a great summary, and then he goes in some detail and stuff. But I did want to bring attention to it. I'll be honest, I like them both. That's why I'm giving them both to you, and I recommend you check them both out. Last up, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this video. First, let me just say this. When I got back into grading a few years ago, I have always thought that it should be done with technology. I'm a geek at heart, and I'm like, well, why isn't technology doing this? Why are you using wizards? Magic people? I mean, I don't understand that. So I've always called them wizards. They have no certification, and everybody thinks they're great. It's like they're dungeon masters, okay? Why we use dungeon masters? This is a cool video. If you have a chance, check it out. I love what the technology can do. It shows you that, but here's my counter to that. The technology can do this well grading. It can do just as well to counterfeit. Not that this wouldn't find it. Actually, this is probably better at finding it, but this is the problem, right? The better our technology gets, the easier it is to trick those dumb wizards. It really is. These wizards have nothing on us, which is why I do think in the future there'll be a backlash. People will realize that PSA was probably the worst graded card because it doesn't have a 9.5. It's easiest to get a 10 on, and the grading quality went down because most people grading it have been hired out of, like, I don't know, they just were hired in the last 6 months. So you're going to have weaker wizards. The magic isn't strong. So I think in the future, people will realize that. Anyway, I digress. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I will tell you one final note. If you're paying this attention, you made this far, I'm going on a road trip. By the time this video launches, I'll be landing in Denver, Colorado, and I'm making a trip across the country this week. So I hope to be making videos and updating you on stuff as I do that, but we'll see. Might get interrupted. If it does happen, hang in there. But I do appreciate the content. Oh, real quickly before I forget too, Neo mentions that he's going to have CSG on his show, I think later this week. So we want questions for them. Ask him. That's going to be pretty cool. Now, we'll be live. It'll be recorded. Thanks, guys.